Go all in. It's one of those phrases that sounds bold, empowered, clear. But for a lot of people, it's become confusing, maybe even dangerous. Because if the state you're in is fear, doubt, or pressure, then going all in can end up reinforcing the very pattern you're trying to grow out of. And over time, you stop trusting commitment altogether. Today, we're going to explore why going all in isn't the problem, why it's actually one of the most powerful things you can do when the emotional state underneath it is aligned. If you're someone who cares about living intentionally, whether it's in your work, your relationships, your growth, then chances are you've wrestled with this tension. Do I go all in or protect myself? Commit or stay flexible? We're living in a time where a lot of people hesitate to fully commit, not because they don't care, but because so many have only ever experienced it from an untrained emotional state. They've associated commitment with burnout or self-abandonment or losing control. But the truth is, going all in isn't the problem. It's the state most people go all in from that creates the pain. Let's be honest, most people go all in from fear. Fear of missing out, fear of being left behind, fear of failure. They throw themselves at the goal. They overwork, they overgive. They try to do everything at once. And yes, it looks intense. It looks committed. But underneath, it's not coming from a steady place. It's coming from tension, from pressure, from a system that's trying to create safety through effort. So even if the actions look bold, what gets reinforced is instability. The nervous system starts to associate progress with stress. Here's the shift. Going all in isn't the problem. Untrained commitment is. Because going all in from alignment feels completely different from going all in from fear. When your internal state is clear, grounded, calm, and intentional, then the commitment you make isn't frantic or grasping. It's clean, it's sustainable, it builds momentum. You're not chasing peace through effort. You're taking action from peace because your foundation is steady. That's what makes real commitment powerful. It doesn't drain you, it strengthens you. A lot of people think they're being wise by keeping one foot out. They talk about balance, they protect their time, they stay strategically non-committal. But what they're really training without realizing it is ambivalence. And the nervous system adapts. It starts to associate safety with not choosing fully. So even when something meaningful shows up, a relationship, a purpose, a dream, they can't step into it completely. Not because it's the wrong thing, but because they've trained themselves to hesitate. Avoiding commitment doesn't always look like pulling away. A lot of people avoid real commitment by doing too much. They chase, they overfunction, they try to prove they're worth choosing. And it can feel like commitment, like they're all in. But underneath, they're not grounded in presence. They're driven by fear. Fear of not being enough, fear of being abandoned, fear that if they stop trying, it will all fall apart. So all that doing becomes a way to stay busy without ever fully choosing from a stable state. Then there's the opposite pattern. Others avoid commitment by staying just far enough away that nothing can really touch them. They keep their options open. They value independence. They show up, but only part way, just enough to avoid feeling trapped or exposed. On the outside, it looks calm, in control, even wise. But underneath, the nervous system is learning I'm safest when I don't get too close. So even when something meaningful shows up, a real connection, a calling, a commitment, it never quite lands because you've trained yourself to stay just out of range. Neither of these patterns is wrong. They're just trained, and anything trained can be retrained. So what does real commitment look like? It's not frantic, it's not about control, and it's not about staying safe. It's presence, it's calm, it's a studied choice made again and again from a grounded state. You're still investing fully. You're still taking risks. You're still putting your heart into what matters. But now your system can hold the intensity because the intensity isn't coming from panic. It's coming from clarity and intent. That's the kind of intensity that builds mastery. And when it's repeated over time, that's what creates transformation. Let's be clear, going all in doesn't mean ignoring your needs or staying in situations that are misaligned or overextending past your capacity. It means this: I'm willing to show up fully from a trained and intentional state. Not because I'm chasing something, but because this is who I've chosen to become. And from that place, commitment doesn't feel heavy, it feels liberating. So here's the question. Where in your life have you mistaken fear-driven effort for true commitment? And what would it look like to train the state first, then go all in from there? Because when your nervous system is steady, your perception shifts. And what's felt overwhelming becomes the next clear step forward. If you've been hesitating, half in, half out, not because you don't care, but because your system doesn't yet know how to hold the intensity of full commitment, that's what I help people train. I've created a process that helps you build emotional alignment, nervous system stability, and mental clarity. So when you go all in, you're doing it from your best self, not your survival patterns. You can learn more at the link below. And if you want more like this, I share new videos, practices, and reflections each week on Instagram at Mike Wang Coaching and in the weekly newsletters. Thanks for being here. See you in the next one.